Don't be afraid to make larger movements. Watch these two clips and decide for yourself which one is better. So, which one looked better to you? As you can see, the first clip has much smaller movements compared to the second one. This makes it a lot slower because I'm animating at 15 frames per second. In the second clip, you can see that the movements are much larger, which gives it a much more realistic feel. Prop movements. This knight twirling his sword was animated at 20 frames per second. Now, 20 frames per second is pretty fast, but if we slow the footage down a little bit, you can see that his movements are also very fast, making the whole video look a lot faster. Realistic reactions. Now, if we look at both the clips a little bit slower, you can see that in the first one, you can notice that the clip doesn't really look that realistic. Now, the reason for that could be that when he's preparing to punch, so as you can see when he's moving back with his hand, ready to swing at the guy's head, he never really stops at the top of his movement cycle. So you can see that there's no real change of speed as he's going at him or as he stops. He also totally misses the punch, which is because he was actually stationed one stud too far away from the guy, which is a big problem that sometimes happens to me when I'm animating fight scenes, is that my guy could be a little bit too far away so that he can't land the punch correctly, and then you have to reanimate the whole scene over and it's just a pain. Now, right here in the second clip, it totally flips it on the head. As you can see, he moves back and he has total good body movement all the way through. And then I wanted to note that whenever he swings down, the guy that gets hit has almost immediate reaction to getting hit. Also, dealing with the guy that got hit, you want to make sure that whenever he's falling down from the initial reaction, that it's not too slow. As you can see in this next clip, we have a guy pushing another guy. Now, the movement is very quick, and I did this by having the guy in the blue shirt. He actually slid backwards by moving him back one stud every single time, so that it's a quick and flawless movement. He also moves his back down a little bit as he's falling backwards, and then whenever he hits the last stud that he's going to fall onto, he moves straight back up, so he's back to normal again. The first thing you're going to want to make sure that you do when animating a sword fight is the two people you're having fighting. As I mentioned earlier, a problem that comes up sometimes is that they're too far away from each other and their swords can't actually touch, and that's really annoying to deal with. So what I would say is just make sure that they can touch beforehand. Also, I would recommend standing them both on one leg so that you have free reign of whatever motions you want to do. Now, what I mean by using substitute pieces is, in this video here, you can see that Yoda throws his mug down, and as he does so, whenever it hits the ground, that one frame when it hits the ground, you're going to want to put like different smaller little pieces that would make up the shards of the mug so that it looks like it's broken. If you've ever tried the short legs walk cycle before, you've probably just done it where he's just sliding forward. What you should do instead is do this little jumping technique, I call it. It's where you stand them in between the two pegs as they're moving. So one wherever his feet are glued to the bottom, and then another one where he's standing in between them, so it looks like he's kind of jumping forward. Glare and reflection can be a big problem in LEGO stop motion because LEGO pieces tend to be really shiny and they kind of give off a reflection, and that could be a big problem because you can see in every frame what your hand was doing, and that'll give a little weird reflection in the background. So what I would say is try to get either good lighting, or you can just try to use different LEGO pieces that aren't as shiny. And the final thing is that you can use whatever you want as your background. As you can see here, I don't even really have a background. I'm just saying that you can make whatever background you want. It doesn't have to be out of LEGO just because of LEGO stop motion. Like, I can just have this little black horizon that I have right here, or it could be made out of clay, or just a couple books, you know, it could be whatever you want. Thank you for watching, and I really do hope that these tips helped you, and if they did, please consider leaving a like on the video. See you next time.